You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Ex-Villainous shocked Timbermen on map number 1, but can the Timbermen recover? Boggs and Pineapple Phillips with you on the mic this evening. Ex-Villainous up 1-0 after felling the Timbermen 16-8 on the pick of Ex-Villainous. Now we go to Timbermen's map of Ancient. BeaKie stuck in Donut to retake a setup from Ex-Villainous. And Noxio is actually the one to get the opening kill onto Frankie. But the bomb is going to go down here. Dare just gets out of there alive, low on health. Droid with a big one. Shutout caught out. Has that kit, but can he even get to the site is a bigger factor. Retreating all the way out of middle. I do know there is a player out towards A. Initial engagement there. Nox going to take out Shane from Temple. Dare swings out. They still know Droid is lurking around. Smoke onto the bomb. Dink onto shutout, but not quite the kill. So many players though. So many opportunities. And BeaKie finally grabs one. He's sticking. He's holding. He's tapping. And they're all falling down. Snapping in Droid. Packing up a pair. And then one singular kill for Droid in the end. Timbermen with the pistol. But Ex-Villainous probably going to force up here, if it's anything like what we saw in Mirage.
Probably. Very interesting that the smoke, unfortunately, does not land on the bomb. And it also smokes off those players stuck in a very tight angle over towards the ruins. Gives Timbermen much more room to work with than they had before. And honestly, it hurt Ex-Villainous more than it helped them. Now, they will go for the investment, as you mentioned. 3 Deagles, UMP, MP9. They're against a full suite of rifles. 4 Wills and an AK. They should have a hefty advantage, Timbermen, in this one. The smoke is pretty important, yeah. It's an unfortunate situation. Shut out. First in towards caves. He's taken down, but BeaKie finds a double in response. UMP's paying dividends. And now both SMGs are still on the site to hold for this 3-player ramp play. Noxio up close first at bad MP9 in hand. Does he find the first? No, but the UMP is still comfortably cleared. That's the question. No, he'll find the first. He'll find a second, not quite the third, but he set up Tensky and Alvin for success. Snav, 1 versus 2 ahead of him. It just seems near impossible. It'll require a 4K. Finds the first, not the second. Good swing from Tensky in response. And that is another pistol round forced by 1 in this series.
So, in our map recap and kind of lead up into map number 2, you talked about BeaKie being the star player on this Ex-Villainous roster and how he didn't really have to do much in the previous map. He went and did it all in that round. 4 kills with the UMP, isolating these duels, taking a couple of double fights, and just picking them off one by one. Now he's going to go aggressive with the M4. They've given BeaKie confidence. That's a scary proposition for Timbermen. Web forced in here. Oh, team ding from Noxio on to shutout. SMG's clearing in through caves. Snav waiting for a peek from somebody down in towards bottom mid. But it's just going to be a more passive hold from Ex-Villainous, which is a very wise decision. Tensky catches out Frankie. Good shot delivered. Noxio caught a little bit by some spam. BeaKie with a good kill onto Dare. And overall, seems to be a good cleanup operation here by Ex-Villainous. Alvin keeping an eye on Snake while BeaKie peeks deep. And, well, that's exactly how you kind of want to play this if you want to go aggressive on CT. Peek together, take your fights, don't overstay your welcome. Win your duels like that, and you'll be on your way to success.
Droid no bomb, 1 versus 5. At this point, a kill would be a gift. Gifted any such gifts. Tag down to 1 HP. The MP9 can harvest a bit for Noxio. Jump through the air, a bit of style there. Secure a second and cement the advantage for Ex-Villainous. Keep in mind, as we mentioned, going into this one, the spawn timings have changed for the CT side. You see this big parking lot of a spot. It was added to add some timings to give the CTs less space. and it makes the map far more T-sided than it was in previous iterations. So Timbermen, they should be expecting, honestly, given how hefty an advantage they have on this map across the board, they should have 8 on this T side, but they haven't started off in the best of ways.
No, indeed. They're taking a lot of early Molotov and nade damage. BeaKie will go spray down 3. Has teammates with him as well. Frankie and Droid alone and away from the bomb. Takes a nade. Doesn't take any damage from it, though. Push coming through from Shutout, looking for an extra kill. BeaKie gets knifed, but he will not die. Gets felled by Droid in the end, but it's going to be a small consolation for Droid in the end, as Shutout will upgrade to the M4. 3 rounds in a row and 3 rounds to 1 up for ex-Villainous here. As the first buy round comes through from Timberman, Droid has to sacrifice and go for the Galil to afford some utility, and there's not much of it to go around on the Timberman side. Ex-Villainous, plenty of util. The MP9 on Noxio. Expect to see that somewhere either tucked in a corner or aggressively peeking with some fire support from a rifle behind. No op yet for Alvin, though. That's what things are going to get real scary for Timberman when that becomes a factor.
Doesn't full blind the player up close. It's back and forth. Scrappy, but Scrappy favors Timberman. I was wondering how they were going to adjust to the aggression from ex-Villainous, and they just meet it head on. They pressure out towards middle. Shutout was spotted there. That makes this angle all the more awkward. Trying to win the duel before the rotation comes through, but it's not in his favor. Just Alvin, aggressive out the B ramp now in the 1v3, and it appears they already know where he is. We'll try to look behind the flames, but I think the tick might have been heard. It's going to be a second for Timberman, more than likely at this stage. Alvin, will he save? That's the question.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to save that for BeaKie into the next round, because he's only got 1,400 in the bank. So it would not be a terrible idea at all. And that seems to be his play. He'll get the op. Everybody else will get rifles. BeaKie will have 1 donated. BeaKie also is 12-4, 5 rounds into the game. So he's had himself a moment so far. But Timberman, that's a good round to get on the board, a good round to help stabilize things. They counter the aggression well. They win the scrappy fight. Yeah, they got a little bit lucky. Flash didn't hit. But you have to be able to capitalize on mistakes like that. And Timbermen do just that. They don't let the... Ooh, they get the kill, too, at the end. That's nice. That's a real nice... It's not really going to hamper ex-Villainous too much in the overall situation of things. But still. Makes it a little bit harder for ex-Villainous to get the full buy. It'll do a little more damage to their economy in the end, which is now in the reset zone. And ex-Timbermen, they're kind of out of the reset zone here. Not quite fully free from that danger. They would have a better buy if they lose it than the ex-Villainous lose this round.
The BeaKie is at 12 kills
Yep,
already.
12-4, 194 ADR.
Aggression is the call from Timberman, and it's well read as well. Nobody's on B, just one player in the caves is Alvin. Shutout's going to try to shut them down or at least delay them, but he does so only briefly. He's traded it out. BeaKie does find 1. Intensky through the smoke tags Frankie, who could just fall by this nade. Not quite. He'll stay alive. 3 versus 3, though, is definitely more than manageable for ex-Villainous, especially given the fact that they have nearly full utility belts and kits as well. 1 Molotov and 2 flashes is all that remains for Timberman. This is looking good for ex-Villainous. A very proactive, fast flank coming in from the M4s. Timbermen are reading it well in kind.
They gotta go, though. Time's down to half. They have 15 seconds to get the kills, get on the bomb. Frankie holding BeaKie going up. Met by Dare. Noxio with the flame kill. Tensky down to a 1v1. Smokes the flames, not the bomb. He's caught in the open. He's surely dead. No time, no chance, no how, and no life. 3-3 now. The scoreline is Timbermen find 2 in a row. Frankie does die, though that'll put a little bit of a strain on the economics for the Timbermen. But ex-Villainous will not be investing heavily into this round. Maybe some upgraded pistols across the likes of Noxio, maybe Shutout on the P250. But overall, there should not be much of a buy from the CT side. Timbermen looking for their first lead since the pistol round. They can find it here, which they should. I mean, there shouldn't be a problem with Timbermen finding this round victory.
Now, they're against a Deagle and a P250 along with a trio of USPs. Shouldn't be a doubt that Timbermen walk away with this round. Snav as well, reading it well. As with a Mac 10 in hand to harvest a bit of extra cash. This should be the fourth, as you mentioned. But timbermen, a lot of hard read situations. Very well done from them. That aggressive play towards B completely caught ex-Villainous unawares. If they can continue to make reads like that, they will quickly run away with this half.
I don't know if anyone's going to necessarily run away with this half or anything in this map. I feel like this one's going to be a little more scrappy than Mirage.
Feels like it. The opening's your lead entirely comes from aggressive, scrappy plays in the middle. And the first rifle round for timbermen came from a very scrappy play towards middle. There.
Yep.
This one proper, though, does catch the donut player. The issue is they're not falling for this trap. They're going to go towards A, and all four players are present and ready. Alvin and Tensi from obstacles. Very boosted up will be cleared up to a speed dispatch, but here comes the peek off contact. Doesn't find anything either. BeaKie will finally offer some resistance, but Tenski's dismantled from donut. BeaKie, the final nail in the coffin. Only one player goes down. Snav, though, does not upgrade to the rifle. He doesn't get that weapon that was dropped. He's still on the Mac 10. And we do have a pause coming through, a very poignant one. I'm assuming it's coming in from the likes of ex-Villainous. Just given
You would be correct.
Given that they were the only ones to call it in the first map. And it is, yeah, as you mentioned. They're going to try to figure out what they want to buy. Don't think an op is on the table unless BeaKie wants to forego armor or Noxio wants to forego armor. So it's going to be M4s across the board. And they've been close. That first round they lost that led them to that pistol round, it was close. It was a 3 versus 3. But they couldn't get across the line. If they just change some things here and there, if they're more ready for the aggressive plays, they could emerge victorious.
This is an interesting one here, Nate, because if you remember back on Mirage doing the early going, it was the timeout at 4-3 in favor of timbermen where ex-Villainous kind of went on a bit of a slide. It was 6-3. And then they picked up the pieces of that half after Tenski got a 3K. He'll open up this round, though, so maybe they won't need to wait for his heroics. BeaKie with a second. 2 quick kills for ex-Villainous. And it's aggression from timbermen out towards mid that's punished, and aggression from ex-Villainous in towards a main that is rewarded. A double man advantage now for the CT side, and not much to do now for timbermen. They've barely done any damage. BeaKie took 28 out of that engagement. Tenski took 15. It's not enough. And this B split, 2 through cave, 1 through long, is going to be met by a pair. Shutout and Noxio ready to receive. Timbermen quaking in their boots, need the opening pick from Dare. He does find it, but he takes too much damage. And now Noxio has a very easy job to stall this out.
Dare is sitting in the backlines, though. It's going to be pretty bad. Droid instead. Noxio peeks into Shane, finds the first, and now Droid will clear the site, sure, but you have to get that plant down and survive all by his alone, so I don't think he's going to get out of this spot either. He'll have to fight his way out. Tenski finds one. It's just Droid on the site. 1 versus 4. He found the first, but nothing more. Alvin finds the trade, and ex-Villainous are back in the winner's column, tying things up yet again. They aren't out of the woods yet. Timbermen are going to have another investment on the horizon. Maybe some fancy footwork is required in the economy side of things. No. Well, maybe. Droid will probably require a drop, but it should be more than manageable for Timbermen.
Should be more than manageable indeed. A timeout called, and this one is Timbermen's first timeout of the series. So they lose a round, and they want to call a timeout. Maybe they're learning from examples. Say, hey, ex-Villainous did some good stuff after calling a timeout. We're going to do it too. Or somebody had to go, like, plug in a mouse or go to the bathroom. But
bio break.
That's the less romantic timeout.
I do recall back in the day admiring their timeout calls.
That was like a season ago, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since we've seen them really use their timeouts to their full effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they've been much more impatient. You know, that does reflect in some of the incidents we've seen recently. So,
what, like spraying your teammate down in C?
No, that's just part and parcel of being an NA, I would say. You should expect that to happen.
What is NACS? A UMP for Droid. So he thought BeaKie did really good work with it, so he's going to try and replicate that success. Had options to go for MAC-10 or UMP. I don't know, man. The MAC-10, it's pretty good, especially if you jump around with it. But Timbermen. They bought down to pretty much nothing in the bank left over. They do have a bit of damage on the shutout, but they're playing so incredibly slow. They're letting ex-Villainous take this methodical control of mid. 3 players all the way down. The crossfire is established to allow a snake peek. Another smoke to be used deep mid as well. This is a very precarious position Timbermen put themselves in. It's all being telegraphed too. All this positioning towards B. It's all known for ex-Villainous. They've even rotated BeaKie over. Timbermen are going to walk into a vice grip of a hold from ex-Villainous.
Really feels like the question is, can they unseat it? That's the question. Noxio finds the opening, takes lots of damage, sure, but can't snap on a trade. It doesn't seem like the Molotov will keep him at bay. He'll smoke it, but just going to be a B play instead. Dare walking out. Knows there's a player in the corner, but shut out. It doesn't matter. He'll hold towards the caves instead. Dare will eventually find the trade and cover the plant, but BeaKie's here to fill the hole, fill the gap in the defense. He'll harass and find another. 4 versus 2. Dare and Droid at this point have to fight their way out. They have to take duels before the site is taken, but Droid think down will find one. The trade takes down Dare, and he finds the second, doubling down, double dipping on a Droid. It's a convincing and solid hold, as you mentioned. 3 players alive as well, and the lead again wrested away from Timbermen.
Ripped out of their hands.
2 kills for BeaKie.
BeaKie, yeah. He's at a 3.0 KD.
And he's at more kills than the entirety of his team combined.
That is... Yeah, because they've got 17.
Yeah, that's 17. That's an unreal stat line. He's running down middle, busting it down. 166 ADR.
Yep. Not like Noxio's had a bad performance either this map. He's following up his solid play from Mirage with 6 and 7.
Important kills as well. You know, Mirage was slightly inflated. I'm going to say it. Lots of eco kills there. Lots of eco kills. Not so much here, but he's been finding the ones, which is what he needs. He doesn't need to be a star player. He just needs to get his, and he's doing that very well thus far in Ancient.
Sometimes you just need to get those eeks to get the momentum, get the confidence up. He's playing solid right now, though. He's been a good, solid holder. He's getting his kill. And ex-Villainous, they have that lead. Another timeout from Timbermen. Uncharacteristic use of back-to-back timeouts for Timbermen. And they're on pistols. Tech 9s, triple Deegs, armor on 3, a smoke, and a Molotov in the hands of Droid. I don't think I've ever understood why they leave so much utility to Droid on this team, because he used to be such a nutter when it came back to his younger days. I mean, he's still young, but back in like his old frag days when he was like 15, showing up on land and dominating. I don't know why they don't just let him frag out a little bit more.
He's got the aim. He's also got a really sick lurk.
Yes.
And when he's given too much agency, it becomes a hindrance more than a help. Specifically on that CT side, he's a monster. He can really get so much control on that CT side. He can allow for rotations. If they can figure out how to better channel him, better coordinate those lurks into the T side, then it would be a true menace. Then Droid would really
Smokes down for this B hit. Lurking towards middle from Dare. Destroyed by BeaKie. Frankie in the red. Shane there as well. Nice little jump and Tech 9 shot from Shane onto Shutout, but Shutout already got his. Bomb does go down, but it's small pittance for Timbermen. 1v4. Picking a none v4 as Noxio's the one to get the end kill. Bomb will be defused. That smoke might have been a little unnecessary. A waste of 300. But that's a bit nitpicky. Overall, well done again on the defense from ex-Villainous. They've done a very good job of having the retakes work. Not over-aggressing either, using the time available to them quite well. Alvin's back on the big green. Dare will join him into this round. It's going to be another buy and another big test for ex-Villainous. But if they are able to convert, that's when they really start to establish a stranglehold of this round, of this game. And again, it is the map pick of Timbermen here. So something very important to keep an eye on. In fact, they're struggling to get things going on the T side, eating the util damage out mid early. Tensky flashed in. It's good, but is it enough? He's got 2, but it's still a 2v3 again for Timbermen, harkening back to that first gun round of this half.
exactly what I was thinking about. Was it round 4, round 3 that happened?
Round 4, I want to
I think
say.
it was round 4. I want to say it was 1-3 when it happened. Maybe even round 5.
Yeah, I
Either
think it
way,
was round 4.
either way, it's a very similar situation. Shutout and Alvin, the last two pieces alive against Snav, Dare, and Droid. 3 of the old dogs on the squad, and Snav takes down Shutout trying to go for information. He's just Alvin. He has that hefty investment in the op, but the players do appear to be going his way, or are they? Smoke goes over towards the cross. Yeah, they're coming into Alvin. He'll find one. That will send the bomb running. They have the information. They'll go towards B. Alvin, does he go for it? That's the question.
How has he just taken a quarter of his health and damage?
That's a good question.
He looks to be going for it, though. He seems to be pushing in, looking for that kill. He has the utility. He has some time. But they are playing crossfire-ish setup. Not quite a pure crossfire. The Molotov will telegraph his position. If he doesn't get peeked, he's going to know he has to fall away. His time, fleeting. Smoke onto the Molotov. That's not going to cover the bomb. He can't get on it. He's done and dusted. Fighting his way through. He'll go down to the bomb regardless here. Nade goes deep. Alvin goes down, but he might just take a player with him. Yeah, he does take Snav out of the picture. Plenty of money for ex-Villainous, but a 5th on the board for Timbermen. That is good for them to finally get something going. They'll be able to buy up too. But again, down to low money because they have taken so much damage in that round. 4 players down. A Galil. Utility is out. Make it 2 Galils. Ex-Villainous. They're also in danger of a reset. We find ourselves in a swing round in round number 12.
Honestly, 1 for 1 there. Pretty good for final remaining member of ex-Villainous for Alvin. Timbermen, second rifle round very similar to the second rifle round of this game. It's a straight play towards B. This time around, though, ex-Villainous are ready for it. Player back at the square. BeaKie finds one. BeaKie a second. Let him eat. Droid will find the trade, but Shutout swings in, goes 1 for 1, maintains the advantage. 3 versus 2. Snav will go for the plant, but there's a whole plethora of players already ready for the retake. Tenski is here. Alvin and his teammate Nox are both in towards the caves. Snav, he can finally still get away. It would be massive, but no, he lines up a 1 and only 1. He's taken down, leaving just Shane. This is a good spot, but can he find them both? That's the question. Smoke beginning to fade. Just going to try to bide his time as best he can.
They know where he is now. Alvin, back to the op, spots the elbow. Might have been better off with the rifle in hand. Molotov miffs, smoke onto the bomb, pistol out for Alvin. He's trying to find it. He finds death at the hands of Shane, and we find a tie ball game. As we get to the last 3 rounds of the half, Shane gets out of there alive. Ex-Villainous with nothing to invest into this round. Timbermen are clawing their way back in on the favored T side of Ancient. Getting closer and closer. An incredibly ugly and messy fight on the site for both sides. Timbermen kind of lucky to get out of there alive with a victory. Same could be said for Villainous, though, even getting into that position to bring it to a 1v1.
Yeah, I feel like ex-Villainous played it perfectly. They had the read of the situation. BeaKie peeking in expertly, finds 2 for the price of none. Eventually goes down short, but he's done more than enough heavy lifting. His team is there to support him after the fact, find the trades, but it's just sloppy execution coming in from the CT side. And now, bit of desperation. They're going for the investment on pistols. And the aggressive plays are not paying off, at least not yet. Tenski falls, only doing a bit of damage. They have done some damage, good damage at that as well. Onto this player towards the door. Shane, a double nade onto Nox and Shutout might just do them in. It's just Alvin and BeaKie, and make that just Alvin. An M4 in hand versus 4. He's found 1 kill, I should say, but he needs so much more. At this point, he might consider saving.
He should just save at this point. His teammates and him going all in on this round. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, Nate. Their loss is bad, but it's going to give Timbermen the half. That's what it does. Because now, Timbermen will have a 7th and pretty much a free pass to an 8th.
They do.
That's a roll of the dice, man. That's That's a big bluff. If it gets cold, you're almost down and out for the half. And unless they really want to bet everything on the T side, it's a bit risky at this stage of the game.
Well, yes, they should be saving at this point. They have Alvin, the hero rifle. Play around him. Go from there. He'll drop a deagle for his team. Yep, that should be the call. It's going to be half by.
Nate, hold up 1 second. Nobody on ex-Villainous except for BeaKie has over 8 kills. Nobody's close to double digits.
It's kind of close, okay?
It's round 15. It's round 14.
It's true. It has been BeaKie doing all the heavy lifting.
It's been BeaKie doing everything.
Alvin's been quiet on the op. That might actually be an understatement. And
Non-existent.
Yeah. He's gotten... I don't think he's actually gotten an op kill.
I don't think so. I think he got pistol kill and a couple of rifle kills.
He got a nade kill in that last round.
Oh, yeah.
So we do need him to wake up in a big way if we want ex-Villainous to really have legs to stand on. Keep in mind the T-side going to be more difficult for the op as well. We're praising him for his T-side op on Mirage. Hopefully we'll get more of the same. Hopefully we'll get a similar such treat on Ancient, but it'll be an outright outset play over towards A. Shout out the other player here, back of the ruins, and he's tapped away by Galil. The Deagle can't offer much resistance. Bomb plant forthcoming. And at this point, a retake doesn't really seem possible. Droid collaterals too. The rifle of Alvin will find a trade. Tensky, you should try to find that rifle and save it. That's the best case scenario for ex-Villainous in this round.
They're on the prowl for him, though, and he gets removed without basically doing any damage at all. Alvin now, a big target on his back. Had a lot of time to try and stay alive. Objective is to survive. Can he survive? Oh boy, this is going to be a long 15 seconds. Frankie will mean its mission failed. We'll have to get him next time. 8 rounds to Timbermen. A buy up for ex-Villainous, trying to get this to an 8-7 half. But it's not boding too well for ex-Villainous here on their opponent's map pick. Their CT side coming up short. This buy is going to have to do it all. An op for Alvin. Needs a little bit more than 5 kills to really spark something for his squad. BeaKie needs help. He needs support. Who will be the one to step up? Give some respite to good old BeaKie. Alvin's certainly burning alive. Not going to help out too early.
Tried to go for the peek in towards the caves and towards Jaguar. Risked it for the biscuit, but no biscuit was presented. Dare also had a quiet game thus far in the off, but he hasn't really been called upon. All of Timbermen, again, these plays are transparent. They're very easy to read. They're all just grouping up towards B. They had that one very disjointed lurk. This time it's Frankie towards the middle. But he's even grouping up with the rest of the squad. So again, Timbermen just going for these stock standard early commitments. ex-Villainous, though, are too scared to suss it out.
Shane's getting a lot of control of B. Nobody really here to hold just yet for ex-Villainous. The utility blocking him off. Shutout getting boosted up top. Spots nothing as the bomb goes down. Utility is there for the CT side to retake, but there's a couple bits of utility for Timbermen to throw in the hold as well. Alvin looking for something, but he can't see through that smoke. Dare ready to shoot, and there he wins that op duel against Nox. Dare coming alive, but Alvin has found his dome. Breaks his bell. The snap spray does a lot to get his trace right back by shutout. Shane and Frankie push on through. It's down to 1 and then to none. Hat trick for Frankie. 3-round lead for Timbermen. We'll see you for half number 2.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Let me drown. Please don't let me drown. Please don't let me drown. Please don't let me drown. Whoa. Give me all of your lies, 'cause you're my demon in disguise. I learned to love the cage you keep me in, but the walls keep closing in, and I don't wanna die, but your poison feels so right. Why do I want you when you're bad for me? My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. My perfect storm.
Half number 1 of map number 2 ended in a very similar fashion to Mirage, 6-9, a very nice scoreline, this time in favor of Timbermen. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and we have a very quick no-nonsense pistol play over towards B, and some dualies to greet them. Snav finds Sue, Alvin does trade, but there's still another pair lurking in the caves, and the bomb plant has yet to be attempted. Shut out. Gaining some space towards back square. We'll have to do a lot, but the flash is so good. No kill, though. There we go. Droid and Shane both find one apiece. It leaves just Alvin, the Opera, in a 1v4, and it's just not feasible. Droid finds the final nail in the coffin, and it is Timberman to get double digits very quickly with the pistol round victory.
That was fast. That was real fast. Real smooth for Timberman. Only 1 kill for ex-Villainous. Honestly, I don't want to see them force. Save and buy full guns in the next round. Don't go all in here would be my best bet, but they're going to go all in here.
All in, baby.
And look at how much utility they have.
2.
This is why I would not have bought here.
Less than ideal, but you know what? Something Scrappy could definitely work out. Scrappy's kind of ex-Villainous's middle name. But okay, if Droid's gonna
Same goes for
Dare
Timberman.
rather, yeah, I guess that's fair. Tit for tat, and Dare in middle pre-fire perfection. Alex is someone we've been praising, having good impact thus far in the series, is taken down. It's far from ideal.
Yeah.
You have caves control, sure. Can they actually
no
translate it? Yeah, no utility to smoke off the 2 major choke points. 1 towards back square, 1 snap towards CT spawn. It's just 3 players now present and ready. It doesn't seem possible unless they can really find clinical precise openings. It doesn't seem possible. Snap finds 1. BeaKie and Alvin find 2 in response, but Dare finds 1 to maintain an advantage. A tenuous one. 3 versus 2. M4 from Austin, MP9 to retake. They have a Molotov. They have a kit. They have a smoke. Meanwhile, ex-Villainous have nothing to hold off this region. Lils will try their darndest. They do find 1, but the lineup takes lots of damage. Alvin finds the second. Shane trades. Shane doubles down. A 1 versus 2 clutch for the FAMAS. It's an expensive round, but it's a round 1 nonetheless. Timbermen will get their 11th. They'll extend their lead to 5, and it's looking like map 3 might be a distinct possibility.
This loss hurts ex-Villainous more than winning the round with only 1 surviving hurts Timberman. Because ex-Villainous now have to decide if they want to go all in. They really risk this whole half in this map thereby. Timberman, they should have a pretty free round coming up, just a half buy from ex-Villainous pistols and armor, which ironically is a better buy in terms of utility and overall adaptability than their previous one.
Far better.
They have, what, triple, almost quadruple the amount of util? Actually, quadruple the amount of util.
Yep. They're going to try their darndest. This is going to be a straight B play. They know this mid-control means there's going to be a vacancy towards one of the sites, and they'll gamble on the fact that it's towards B. A little bit of utility, as mentioned, to go for this take. Nice damage on the droid. The pistols, with this control and now this post-plant situation, they actually have a very solid chance. The issue is Dare has complete control of caves, and that makes the post-plant positionings very crowded and very difficult.
They're going to have to bust out on the side. There's no utility to hold now. Shane, that's a big trade onto Shutout. More players scaling forward. Droid 1 for 1. BeaKie with only 1 kill. Alvin stuck around the pillar. Drops one more before falling. Frankie with a big 2K. Frankie's had a good map here. And Timbermen double up on the score of ex-Villainous. But now it's going to be a buy up for the T side. Plenty of money for an op on Alvin if they desire. Rifles across the rest of the board. Timbermen. They can get an op for Dare as well, but they will not opt for the op. They will hold their lines with rifles, kits, and utility. Ex-Villainous, though, they do have the op on Alvin, and they are going to call a timeout. Their second of 4 in this game. It's a good call. It's a very good call.
Smart. I was going to say exactly that. The op of Alvin is present. He's beginning to awaken. He's at 11 kills now. You mentioned everybody was very far away from that double-digit mark. Alvin's finally broken it.
And he was the one who had the least amount of kills when I said that, too.
Yeah, he hit like 3 or 4.
Yes, he had 3 kills at that moment in time. Nox and Tensky had 8, Shutout had 5.
Yeah. If he can wake up with the op on the T side like he did on Mirage, there is a world where they come back into it. Keep in mind, they have done tremendous amounts of damage in the 2 rounds prior, so Timbermen are on the cusp of being reset. If ex-Villainous win this round with some convincing fashion, with some convincing plays, you should have a nice easy go at it in the round following, and then potentially have enough of a bank and enough of a read to continue to win rounds. And that's what would really get them back into it. That 3rd round is the real test.
It's going to be a big test. Alvin boosted up over the smoke. Will not be able to get a free kill. Slow and steady round. Dare's dropped down. Shutup's got to be careful here. Traced around and mowed down by Dare. Will not get punished on his retreat. Now there's a good flash in the middle. Tensky grabs 2 before he gets traded by Frankie. That's massive. Brings it to level pegging, but in comes Frankie to make it a 2v3. The favor of the CT side. Snav through the smoke onto Noxio. Hauled up to Alvin. He's got the op. He's had a couple clutch opportunities so far this game, neither of which have ended too well for him. Alvin?
Whenever anybody's here.
Please bear with us, folks.
Got some technical
I'm going to go out
issues.
on a limb and say Alvin didn't win that one.
Given his record thus far in terms of clutches, I would say he has definitely not won it. We're coming back to cams. Everybody, don't worry. We're going to get these issues rectified shortly. It looks like it was just a bit of a game crash, so it shouldn't be too long. Again, don't expect him to win that clutch. I just don't really think it's possible. I have to agree with Boggs. An op is definitely an unwieldy weapon in that situation. But we'll get confirmation, of course, once we get back into the game, which should be sooner rather than later. But honestly, I think the main key thing for Timbermen in this one thus far has been the fragging potential. We talked about some players lacking in the first map. Everybody's getting kills across the board. I think the lowest number of kills for a player on Timbermen is 11, and the top was like 17, I think. So a 6-kill differential between top and bottom is pretty dang good. It really does mean that everybody's performing and there is not a weak link in the server for your team.
Yeah, Timbermen have really been looking good here. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Mirage, maybe just one of those anomalies as we get back in. Yes, Alvin did not win the clutch, as we expected. And 13-6 should be a 14-6 scoreline as Timbermen have an opportunity to mow them all down. Droid with another nade kill. We've seen a ton of HE kills throughout this game. Frags with the frag grenade. BeaKie the last man standing for ex-Villainous. And a 14th all but secured for the CT side. Timbermen looking to rush on to Vertigo. Bring us to a 3rd and final map in this series.
Seeming like a reality at this point. I don't think there's any way ex-Villainous can come back into this. They have not shown us anything to be excited about on this T side. By the way, Snav is now at 21 kills. BeaKie. He was the heavy hitter for this team, but he's really slowed down. And no one's picked up the pace. He's going to be taken down. There we go. The op of Dare does him in. 14-6 penultimate map point. Keep in mind, if Timbermen win 2 of the next, 10 rounds, we'll be going to Vertigo.
2 of the next 9. Oh, wait, no, it would be 2 of the next 10, yeah, because 9 would guarantee overtime.
Yes, it would. Op for Alvin, with 4 AKs surrounding. Very similar buy for both teams. Full rifles surrounded by ops. The issue is Timbermen have better utility, and of course they have that momentum in their sales. Everybody's doing so incredibly well. 13 kills is the minimum for Dare. 21 is the minimum, or is the maximum for Snap. Meanwhile, 4/5 the roster's below 13 for the likes of ex-Villainous.
Uh-oh. We
So
have
we've had
another crash here. This is... Source 2? Please?
Misfortune always comes in pairs, Boggs. It's going to
Yeah.
happen twice. It'll be fixed here shortly. Again, welcome back to the camera screen. We were just here. But it was, what was it, a half buy? No, it was rifles. It was the half buy in the round
Those
prior.
rifles, yeah.
Unfortunate. We'll get to see. Maybe we can look at the live feed on Teal TV, get an idea of what's going on.
Nope,
Nope, it's still
we're
behind.
on a
You're
delay.
right.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. So bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I think we got our points across. I think the main issue for ex-Villainous is the lack of an idea going forward and the lack of individual performance, except for BeaKie. Timbermen, everybody's hitting their shots. Everybody's firing on all cylinders. And Boggs, do you think there's any way ex-Villainous can come back in map number 2, or do you think they just have to cut ties with this one and look to Vertigo?
Well, there's a way. It would start with a win here. If they don't win it, it's over. It's done. Get ready for Vertigo. But the way is so arduous and difficult, I don't know if ex-Villainous could theoretically pull it off. I mean, Timbermen are looking better and better as time goes on. They're having better and better reads. They're winning the fights more and more cleanly. And it looks like the two teams have almost swapped positions as we've swapped maps. Where one team looks confident, looks concise, looks very well disciplined. The other just can't seem to catch a break. The only thing they catch are HEs.
Lots of HE kills in the favor of Timbermen. All right, third time's the charms. Fingers crossed. We are coming back into the game. And let's see what the score is. It's 15-6.
Oh boy.
Timbermen won the round.
That
So-
means they've won 2.
Yeah, in the span of, what, a minute?
About a minute and 30 seconds, maybe, max.
Oh, yeesh. There are still some
So how about that Vertigo?
Vertigo's doing likely. We still have some technical issues. You can see the win banner up. Don't worry. Again, we're just trying to get the action in. Just ignore it for now. We do have rifles for Villainous. Ex-Villainous. They'll try to do something, sure. AKs across the board. But again, they have not won a round in this half. They lost at half 6-9, and they're now losing 6-15. It has been 6 rounds in a row for Timbermen. Wouldn't reason to be anything other than a 7th here and now. As they get aggressive, they're really coming into their own. Ex-Villainous seem to be without a distinct direction, just slowly showing pressure towards middle, having a player holding towards A main for any pressure coming through, and a player lurking in caves who's just been unseated. That's Snab finding Tensky. Ex-Villainous is going to be picked apart slowly but surely. Droid pressuring down the ramp finds Alvin. Noxio towards the door finds nothing either. It's Droid double dipping. Shutout and BeaKie. Sure, BeaKie's had a heck of a performance on this map, but he's been absent in the last couple rounds. It really does not seem feasible for the 2 remaining players.
Since just slightly before the half switched over, BeaKie's kind of gone silent here. And there hasn't really been anyone to pick up the slack on the side of ex-Villainous. 2v5, not very likely at all. 3 players holding B, 1 in mid, 1 on A. Frankie, the early warning system in towards mid. Shane, the very same over on the A site. Nobody's watching. Oh, never mind. Droid's watching Cave. Now they've spotted him. Now they've seen him. Now they've killed him. Flawless finisher there for Timbermen. And that's going to wrap things up on map number 2. Ancient, a much better performance from Timbermen, and kind of what I was expecting from them over the course of this series. And it looks like they put Mirage behind them, completely forgotten about their lack of success there, and turned things into a new leaf on their own map pick.
That was what I was expecting to see on Mirage, honestly. A map that everybody knows how to play. They should be a well